Hello everyone, welcome to EEE Lab 1. Today's topic is first look at the Proteus tool and simulating circuits in Proteus. So let us start. So the heading I have given as what's in the name. So basically EEE Lab, the full form is Elements of Electrical and Electronics Engineering Laboratory. So next we'll gear up for Proteus. So what is this? Proteus is a software. Its initial release date was in the year 1988, and the developers are Lab Center Electronics Limited. So what is Proteus? It's a very powerful EDA tool. Again, what is EDA? EDA is electronic design automation. So it's a very powerful EDA tool used worldwide to teach electronics PCB design, which includes feature like schematic capture and circuit simulation. So what is a PCB? PCB is a printed circuit board. Basically, it's the board which is running your mobile devices and laptops. Okay, so let us start with Proteus. So we will see our first circuit experience in Proteus shortly. So first of all, let us go and build up at Proteus. So this is my Proteus 8 demonstration. Already the link was shared to you, shared with all. So it's my demonstration version. It's my Proteus Design Suite 8.10 is the latest version. So to start, you'll go to File, click on New Project. So it will take some around 10 to 20 seconds to load it, depending upon your processor speed. So as you can see, it is here the Lab Center Electronics 1989 to 2020. So they are the one who have made this software. Okay, so it will give you ask for the project name. You can give a project name. So you can call it as EEE Lab 1. Okay, you can save it. You can change the part location over here. I want to save it here. So I will be saving it here. So you can browse the part over here, whatever desired location you want to save, you can save it accordingly. So let's say that I want to save it in EEE B2 Lab, and okay, I think this is the folder. Let me just check. Yeah, so this is the folder. I'll select the folder. So it will be all the designs will be saved over here, and click on next. You have to select default template. So keep on that. Again, click on next. You do not have to create a PCB layout, so keep on check that. Don't click on create PCB layout. So click on do not create PCB layout and click on next. No firmware required. No firmware required for your project. So click that and go to next. And again finish it. Okay, so when you do that, this screen will appear. So this screen will appear means that you can start your work. So here you see the toggle grid. So you can toggle it between the blank background will be totally blank, then it will be a grid, or it will be in the form of line. So let us start. You can see this blue color space, rectangular space here. So basically your entire whatever circuit you make, it should be within this space. Okay, and it is aligned by the center dot. And then you can minimize or maximize by scrolling in or out in your laptop or in your desktop. Okay, so let us start working. Okay, so this is my workspace. I will teach you now how to make a simple everyone knows Ohm's law, right? So we will connect a voltage source and a resistor, and we'll start with our first circuit. So let me just show you first circuit over here. Yeah, so this is our first circuit experience in Proteus. We will build a 10 volts DC voltage source, and we'll connect R1 as 10 kilo ohm resistance, and we'll measure the current through that. Okay, so let us start building that. So you need to go to here, P, select on this P. So basically it meant for PIC devices. Again, I repeat. So you need to click on this PIC devices P, and here you type the reserve word as register. So when you type the register, a lot of options will come up. So you have to select from here. You need to select registers. So when you double click on the registers, again lot of options will come up. And once you select on the registers, the subcategory, you scroll down, and over here you will have generic. Double click on it. So in generic, you have 3 options available: RES, register, and you have other 2. Click on this. Okay, and once you click on this, click on OK. So that will come automatically over here. Fine. So again, I repeat, you go to pick devices, search for registers, click on OK. Then here you will select registers in category. In subcategory, you will select generic. And in generic, you select this RES. So I've already done that. So it's the analog register selected over here. Now again, go to pick and select source. And from here, you can select sources subcategory. Click on it. From here, you select search for DC voltage source. This is the last option with the name V source. So click on it, double click on it, and click on OK. So that voltage source will also appear here. Okay. So these 2 things we will be using for our first circuit. So now whenever we click on a register and we place anything, you just drag it somewhere here. So let's say I put it over here. Okay. So as you can see, the register will appear onto the screen. Now it's a little bigger, so I'll zoom out a little. Yeah. So here I can rotate with the register. As you can see, I've selected this register from here and just placed it over here like this. So I've done it again. So what you need to do is you need to right click on the register if I want to rotate it, rotate clockwise. So see, it is happening now. I can move this register anywhere I want. So let's say I want it over here. And next is I require a voltage source. So keeping in check with whatever we are doing, we are building this circuit. So we require a resistor of 10 kilo ohm and a voltage source of 10 volt. So over here again we go back. Okay, so we'll click on V source. It's a DC voltage source and drag it here. Double click here on your workspace. This is my workspace. So I'll place it the voltage source over here. Now I can change the value of the voltage source by right clicking on the voltage source, edit properties, and here there is 1 volt, right? I can call it 10 volts. Also, the voltage source is named as V1. I can call it V1 underscore, you can call it your name. So it's very useful. So I am put it over here like this. So here it has come. The name of the voltage source is V1 underscore my name, and also the value is coming up, right? Now we have to connect them, right? So automatically if you move over here, a wire will come up, right? Click on it, you just click and it will break, click and attach it. Okay, again I repeat, you just bring near your registered lower end and drag it below, you tap and then it will break, tap and again you will connect. So this way you can do the connection, any connection in a circuit. Now there is ground also required. So right click, place, go to terminals. I'll repeat, right click anywhere on the workspace, go to place, terminals, you look at ground over here, click on ground. So your ground will come this pink color, place it wherever you want. So normally we place it over here, so it will turn into green. For connecting it, just place a wire from here to here. So this blue green color thing dot will assure that this ground is connected. So this is in line with this ground. Okay, now I have to, okay, so sometimes my waveform, I mean my circuit might look very, very small or very big. So what is actually happening is, you see this green area over here, this is my working space. So I mean if this circuit gets away from my screen, I can get it back from here. So I can see the green color is my working space. Also I can minimize my circuit. Okay, I think it's here, right? Just click on it. Also, if I want to minimize my circuit, I can do it here like this. There is a zoom out button. And let's say if I want to zoom to entire screen like this, the blue color screen will come. And if I want to only, if it is maximized, and if I want to place it at the center of my screen, I'll just click on this and I place it at the center. You just click on this, center at cursor. So let's say my schematic is this, and I click on the center at cursor. So you see what it did, it placed this circuit entirely at the cursor. Now I have to add a label. So what I will do is go to right click, Go to right click, place, add text. So here I can place a text. So I can add my name. Okay, and increase the height to little bit 0.15 inches and click on OK. Okay, so I'll just click on OK. I can bold it also. I can underline it, whatever I want to do. So I'll just place it onto the screen. So this is it. That's how it appears. I can edit anything over here. It's coming out well. Yeah, it's proper. So I can right click over here, drag it anywhere I want it to be. Okay, and the next thing I want is I want to place it as the text as EEE lab, right? So this is EEE lab 1. So I can place it over here again. Yeah, I can move around later, not a problem. Then I want to also add my roll number. So I'll do that by adding this text again, and I'll put over here roll number equal to. So I'm just writing, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you write your actual roll number, okay? And I can drag it anywhere I want. So there is a drag button. I can drag it up, down, below, whenever I want. Okay, and now you can describe the circuit also. Now let me just left click. Right click, select them together and drag it up a little up. Again, I left click. Okay, so I left click and I select this and I drag it up. So also I can name my circuit now. Let me just put it to symmetric. Yeah. So I can name this circuit. I'll name it later. First, let's check how to check the current now. So I have built up over here V1 as 10 volt and R as R1 as around 10 kilo ohm. Now I want to measure current in this circuit. So for measuring current, what you need to do is, again I'll go to this. I think I have to zoom in a little. Yeah, that's better. Okay, now I want to measure current. So for measuring current, you will require a DC wattmeter. So DC ammeter, sorry. So you can cut this wire. So right click on the wire and delete wire. So you want to add a DC ammeter in series. So what you need to do, you need to go to this below the probe, voltage probe. So click on this. Here you will see a DC ammeter. Select a DC ammeter and place it onto the screen, positive, negative. Okay, so and join them like this. So my ammeter is placed. This will directly show me the current. Fine. So let me show you how. So once you added this, it's like a virtual instrument. Okay. So this is what basically my ammeter will read the DC current. It will be in amperes or milliamperes, or it will be in microamperes. So right now, so far I have built up the simple circuit to validate the Ohm's law. So I have connected V1 of 10 volts, and also I have connected. Let me just check edit properties. Okay, yeah, it's fine. And this is 10 kilo ohm. So in order to view the current over here, there is a play button at the down. Click on it. Run the simulation. So it will run the simulation, but it will show you 0. So you need to pause it, and then stop it, and then right click over here. Basically, it's not 0. It's okay. I'll tell you. So right click over here. Go to edit properties and select the range as milliamperes. It was previously amperes. Select the range as milliamperes. Click on OK. So again, now if you simulate, you will get the value as 1 milliampere. You see, you got the value as 1 milliampere. Let us check whether it's correct or no as per the design. Yeah. So what do we have over here? So here we have this circuit of 10 volt source, and you have a resistance of 10 kilo ohm. And here we are, how we can write Ohm's law. Ohm's law is V1 is equal to I1 into R1. So what will be I1? I1 will be V1 upon R1. That will be 10 volts divided by 10 kilo ohm. Hence, oh, sorry, it's wrong actually. The unit is wrong. It should be 1 milliampere. So the current over here is 1 milliampere, as you can see. Fine. and I'll show it to you here again. Okay, let me just zoom in a little. Yeah, so as you can see, the current is continuously displaying 1 milliampere. So this is my DC current for these values. Now what I can do is I can change the resistance value to 20k. So I can do that, but you have to go out of the simulation mode to pause it first and then stop it. Okay, and now I can change the, I'll zoom out a little. I can change this value by right clicking over it. So I can change it to 20 kilo ohms. Okay, so for 20 kilo ohms, the predicted value is around 0.5 milliamperes. So let's simulate and check. Yes, it is coming perfectly fine. It is coming out to be 0.5 milliamperes current. Now, if I want to take a print screen of this, I mean, there is no option to save. Actually, this is a demonstration version. If I want to save it, this is disabled over here. So how will I save this? So before that, let me rename this circuit. So this is my, I will rename it as, I have to close the simulation first. Okay, now I can rename it. So I'll go right click, go to text, and I'll place it over here. I'll rename this circuit as linear. Let me just check once. It's linear. Oh, linear passive circuit. Okay, circuit number 1. So I'll place it onto the screen. Yeah, so it has come up. Now all the things are added up. I have added my name. So you will add your name, your roll number, EEE lab, and also you can add a date also. So here the date will be, so it will be a good practice to do this. So right now I will add a date. So today's date is your second, I'll just write the date 2/09/2020. So that's what I will add it. I can right click over here, drag it to where I want it to be. So this is the way to edit any added label over here. And let's say I was talking about the this thing, how to save it. So I'll play it again. The voltage is displayed. What I will do is, there is a button in your laptops or your desktop that is called as print screen. So I've just pressed that print screen. Okay, you will be allotted an online Google document wherein you can save your work. Now let me open an offline Google document, right? So here is my Google document. I'll just Control V or my right click and paste it. So you see, whatever I have done, I have pasted it over here. Okay, so same way you also have to do for each and every circuit. Fine, I'll be using this again. I repeat, I'll delete it. What I did is, I'll go on to my schematic. So my schematic is visible now. Don't keep it very small, something like this. You can zoom out and then you can center the cursor over here. So the circuit will be symmetric. Now you go to print screen. I mean, press the button print screen in your laptop or your desktop, and you will go to your online Word document. I will talk about it, and you can Control V, paste it over here. So you see everything is pasted over here. So this is the way you will attach your all your print screens. Okay, and you can call your circuit number 1 and all that. So your name, everything is recorded. Now the most important thing is, along with it, your date and time is also recorded. So that is very important. Okay. Now let's move on to the third case, that is 5K. So this way you can check it. Let me stop the simulation and let me change this value to around, oh sorry, okay, I need to maximize. I have to change it to 5K. Expected answer is I1 is 2 milliamperes. So let us do that. So I'll just maximize a little. Click on this. Okay, I need to right click on the voltage source or on the resistor. Edit properties. Here I can go and change the value to 5K. So what is happening is, if I am reducing the resistance, my current will definitely increase. That is what is happening. So earlier it was 1 milliampere, 0.5 milliampere. Now it has increased to 2 milliampere. So this simple circuit number 1, a passive circuit, because it consists of passive element as resistors. This and a voltage source is there, DC voltage source. So this is behaving perfectly as per Ohm's law. It is obeying Ohm's law. So in this scenario, we have voltage as 10 volts, current as 2 milliamperes, and the resistance is 5 kilo ohm. So V is equal to IR. So I current is 2 milliamperes into 5 kilo ohms. If you work out in a calculator, that will be 10 volts only. So this is my circuit number 1, linear passive circuit number 1. Okay, so you all can verify this. Apologies for writing this I1 unit as kilo ohms. It is milliamperes. So please, check it. So you can write this table down in your Google document, whatever is whenever it is shared. So you can make a table of V1 and R1 and note down the value of I1 as expected. So what are the learnings from this simple experiment? First experience with Proteus. So what is the learning? The learning is that the circuit obeys the Ohm's law. Okay, so this is the learning, and it's a linear passive element, a linear passive circuit. Now let us come back to our circuit number 2. So circuit number 2, there will be a slight modification. We will add one more resistor over here. Okay, so let's do that. So this is a circuit. We have to close this simulation first. Stop it. I have to delete this wire. I have to push this down. Okay, let me just delete it. Now I'll maximize this, and I will right click on this wire and delete the wire. Oh, sorry. Right click on this wire, delete the wire. Okay, so that wire is deleted now. And now what I will do is I will place another resistor. So let me pull it up a little. Okay, I want to right click over here, drag it. Actually, I want to drag it up a little. So I will drag it a little up. Yeah. And now I will add the components. So how to add the component? Right click, place component. We have added, you remember, 2 components resistor. So this is my resistor which is added over here. Now I'll right click on this resistor. I'll rotate clockwise, and my circuit is complete. I'll drag it a little up. Okay, I'll connect to this wire, and this again I'll connect to this. Okay, so let me maximize this now, zoom in. So that's what we have been doing over here. Okay, so my resistor is, I've added the circuits. Resistor R1 is 5K and my R2 is 10K. So that's what we have over here also. So what I want to do is I want to measure the current in this circuit again. Let me align it. Okay, so what I will do is my V1 voltage source is 10 volt. My 2 resistance are in series, which is 5K and 10K, and I'll click on play. So my current is 0.67 milliamperes. Now let us see how it is. Now we know that, I'll maximize this. Yeah. So we know that the 2 resistance in series will add up. So what will be my I over here? Current will be voltage divided by total resistance. So V1 is 10 volts divided by R1 plus R2. That will be 10 volts divided by 15 kilo ohms. That is coming out to be 0.67 milliamperes. So you can check it out. You will get 0.67 milliamperes of current. Okay. Now what I want is, now I want the voltage across the resistor R1 and voltage across the resistor R2. So let us go into the circuit back. Let me zoom out in and place it center. Okay. So what I need to do is I want to measure any voltage. So let's say I want to measure voltage across VR2. So what I will do is there is two techniques. Either I can place a DC voltmeter. So here this is my DC voltmeter. I'll place it over here. Okay, I have to stop the simulation and then I'll place it over here. See it is a AC voltmeter, sorry. I have to place a DC voltmeter. So here is my DC voltmeter will measure the voltage, okay? And I'll do the connections over here quickly. So now this will measure VR2 directly. So once I play, see it's coming out to be 6.67 volts. Fine, is it coming out to be 6.67 volts? Yeah, so VR2 is 6.67 volts. So you need to fill up this table. So how it is VR2 is 6.67? It is given by voltage division rule, which you will be learning very soon. What does this say? Voltage division rule, what does this say? It will be this resistance, that is R2, divided by the total resistance, that is R1 plus R2 present in the circuit, into V1. So if you substitute it here, R2 is 10K, R1 is 5K. So 10K divided by 15K into 10K, it will be 6.67 volts. Now, similarly, you can apply this voltage division rule for VR1. So what is VR1? VR1 is voltage across this resistor. So it will be R1 upon R1 plus R2 into V1. So this is the formula, R1 upon R1 plus R2 into V1. So if you calculate, this value will be 3.33 volts. So let us check that. So I'll go to Proteus, I'll zoom in, place it to the center. I can add another, I have stopped the simulation. So I'll pause it and then stop it. I'll add another DC voltmeter over here. Okay, this is added, and now I will connect it with a wire. Oh, sorry. So I'll drag it a little down. Let me just drag this object a little down. Yeah, now it's better. Now I'll connect it with a wire. Okay, like this. Now what this will do is this will measure my VR1 directly. So if I play, so see it is coming 3.33. This is 6.67. So surprisingly, if you add VR1 and VR2, you will get back to the supply. If you add 6.67 and if you add 3.33, your this will be equal to VR1 plus VR2. So let us go back in the PDF. Yeah, so that is what is exactly happening. It's basically the total voltage over here is 10 volt. So this is split it up into two parts. Because the current flows through the resistor R1, it will create a voltage drop. That voltage drop we are calling it as VR1. That is coming out to be 3.33. So you can do it this way also. You can write VR1 is equal to I1 into R1. That will again give you the value as 3.33. But this is one more technique by voltage division rule. This also we can do it without even finding the value of I. So here we are calling it I is the same as I1 only. So don't get confused. Now, if you change the value of the resistors R1 and R2, let me make it 1010, and let me show you one more over here. So I will stop this, pause this, and stop it. So always remember, pause it first and then stop. I'll again maximize, center align it, and now I want to change this value of resistance as 10 kilo ohm. So what will happen? I have two resistors of 10 kilo ohm each, and I have my voltage source 10 volts. So let us play this. Okay, so my current is 0.5 and my voltages are symmetric, as you can see, 5 volts and 5 volts. So what happens over here? My, let me go back. Let us cross verify. Yeah, I1 is coming out to be 0.5 milliamperes, correct? And VR1 and VR2 is coming out to be 5 and 5. So what is happening in this case is, since the resistors are same, 10K and 10K, what will be my current? My current will be 10 volt, V1 divided by total resistance. So it will be 10 volt divided by 20K. So 10 volt divided by 20K is straight away 0.5 milliamperes. And here we have to both the resistance is 10K, 10K. So 0.5 into 10K. So what will be VR1? VR1 will be I1 into R1. So I1 is 0.5 amperes and R1 is 10K. So when you multiply 0.5 milliamperes with 10 kilo ohms, you will get 5 only. So this is the other way to do it. The other formula is VR1 is R1 upon R1 plus R2 into V1. This also you can see carefully. Okay, so similarly you can do it for the third case. You can try it on your own. And what will be the learning over here? So this is my series network, right? So what is the learning? So learning is the current in a series network remains same. So that is a learning objective, and the voltage in a series network gets divided. So as you can see, VR1 and VR2 they are different, so it gets divided up. So that is the learning. I repeat, in a series network, the current remains same and the voltage gets divided. Now let's get back to the third thing. So this is an exercise for you all to do. So what you need to do is, this is my circuit. It's my parallel circuit basically. So this is my voltage source V1 of 10 volts. My two resistors R1 and R2. So here my current will split up. So here my main current is I1. It will get split up into two parts, I1 and I2. And I can replace current part by DC ammeter. So basically three will be required. One will be I1, one will be I2, and one will be I3. So you have to do it on your own. So here what we can write V1 as I1 times R1 parallel to R2. You know how to write the resistors in parallel. So here it will be 10 volt equal to I1 into R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2. Okay. So here we can work it out and calculate the value of I1. I1 is coming out to be 3 milliamperes. Now there is this concept called as current division rule. So what is current division rule? If I want to find a branch current through I2 through the resistor R1, which is the current I2, what I will do? What is the formula? The formula is if I want to find I2, it will be the other resistance, that is R2 divided by R1 plus R2 into I1. Okay, this is my current division rule. So I can substitute these values over here. I1, R1 and R2 is 10K and 5K respectively. I can substitute it over here. I can find out over here I2, which is coming out to be 1 milliamperes. Similarly, I can calculate I3. So what will be I3? R1 upon R1 plus R2 into I1, and I1 is 3 milliamperes. So this will be 2. So what is evident over here from the diagram? I1 is basically, if we apply KCL, KCL says sum of incoming currents is equal to sum of outgoing current. So here my sum of incoming current is I1 and outgoing current is I2 plus I3. So here it is, I1 should be equal to I2 plus I3. So here it is matching. So I1 is 2 milliamperes, I2 and I3 are 1 and 2. So they are getting added up. So what you need to do is you need to add over here the column. So I1, I2, I3 we have added, and the voltage. So what will be the voltage over here? V1, V0. So V0 voltage will be a constant. Okay, why? Because in a parallel network, the voltage remains constant, the current gets divided up. So that's the learning for this part. So you will observe that when you do it in Proteus, that the voltage over here was coming out to be 10 volts. So you can place a voltmeter over here, DC voltmeter. So you can evaluate the other values also with other resistors as R1, R2 as 10K, 10K, you will get these values you can verify, and R1, R2 as 15K and 5K. So what will be the learning? The learning is in a parallel network or a circuit, the current gets split up and the voltage remains constant, which is very evident from these readings. So that's it for this, the first EEE lab number 1. You have completed 2 circuits and 1 circuit you will be doing on your own in Proteus. So next time we'll see some other circuit in Proteus. Until then, have a good day and thank you.